Hello everybody and welcome to the fourth set of Let's Plays for the third coursework in this year's COMP3218 Game Design and Development. I'm Ricky Prince, one of the lecturers on this course, and I'm here with...
Callum Sportheth. I'm a PhD student and was on this course last year.
Rachel Day. I'm a PhD student and I was on this course last year also.
Hooray!
Hooray!
And we're without Dave at the moment. He's just popped out for a Viva, but I think he'll join us during this match, so we'll let you know when he comes in. So we're going to go straight into the first game, which is called what, Callum?
Training.
Just training?
Yes.
Not training of some sort?
You'll see. It's quite an interesting game, actually. I saw this one in the expo.
Is it about trains?
It may be about trains, yes.
Oh, exciting.
Tutorial, actually. It's got some interesting...
Oh,
yeah.
What is happening
okay,
here?
so that's not scaled properly.
Can we zoom out? No.
Oh, what's happening?
Great, it almost feels like VR.
So what do I do? Okay, so space to navigate through.
So you're going to find this really hard without that left dial.
Right, okay. Do I just click it, the dial?
Is it? Can we fix it?
I don't know. C.
Hold C.
Okay, so the idea of this one anyway is that you are a train driver.
Right,
and you're trying to get to the end of the track using as little coal as possible and as little of whatever that stat in the top left is that I can't remember.
We could try and open it in Unity. Oh,
yeah, perhaps we should try opening in Unity then.
So how do I get this
so
moving?
You add coal, which adds temperature to that bottom right dial.
Okay.
And then that heats up your pressure here, which is your boiler pressure. Then you can let out boiler pressure into the cylinders, which starts your train moving.
How do I let out pressure?
Using the gas regulator.
Okay.
I think it was like... There were controls for this.
What innovation are we looking at here?
So we're looking at adaptive difficulty here.
Right. Okay.
So the game will adapt depending on sort of how many resources you use.
Okay. Right, I have not. Maybe I shouldn't have skipped through that tutorial. I'm just going to open Unity while this is reloading as well.
Yes. So
I don't understand why this hasn't.
There's a couple of ways to lose and not make it to the end of the track. Anyway, you can run out of resources, in which case you are stranded in the middle of the desert. I think.
That's tragic.
Or you can break your train if you overpressure it and everything explodes.
Oh, good.
Which can be quite fun,
Let's
actually.
do that.
Sounds pretty dark.
Is it as dark as like beating kittens to death?
Too much coal may damage firebox. Water usage depends on how smooth you go.
Like this is not
lose it
working
water.
properly. Those boxes don't even line up.
Yeah.
No.
So this is. It looks like they've
Build
not
problem.
anchored that particular UI element in Unity properly, so it's not scaled.
Yeah.
Well, it also looks like they've not tested it in the submission format.
So
I
think some
can
of the
zoom the
feedback
page, but that's not
I've,
affected the...
Some of the expo feedback I got actually for them is that they could have play tested this a little bit more,
Yeah.
and gotten some more feedback just to make
Left
sure it's quite
arrow
balanced.
right. Okay.
Okay, here we go. Release Steam to press arrow down, or vice versa.
Okay. Right. I reckon I can sort of play this. So C to.
Okay, so your temperature's going up. You don't know how much boiler pressure you've got because of
You always got even worse on this refresh.
There you go.
Hey,
so you're now letting steam into this bottom left dial. You see there.
With the down button.
You're going backwards.
Yeah, but you're just using all your coal. I think that might mean you'll... Yeah, there we go.
Down.
You failed to complete the tutorial level. I guess maybe it's worth telling the player what to do during the tutorial. Actually,
so I think we should definitely open this in Unity.
Okay, so I will in a second. Regulate pressure to conserve energy. Left to turn it down. Right to turn it up. If it damages the train, release steam to avoid that. Press arrow down. Press arrow to put it back up. Like, it's not really... Like, it's all well and good telling me about these... Like, the controls of what... Like, how to manipulate it. But what does it mean in terms of...
Making the train go.
Yeah. Like, how much steam are we to let out at any point? Like, it's not... Like, do you know, Callum, from having played it?
That's sort of, I think, the idea of the game. It's figuring out the best way of building steam and letting out steam to get to your destination using sort of the minimum amount of coal.
But I'm just guessing. Like, there's no...
It could definitely explain better the relationships between your temperature and your gas cylinders.
Like, the point of a tutorial was to show me how to play the game.
So they could have been a bit more forgiving, such as, oh no, you ran out of coal, try again, and just fill up your coal without having to restart the tutorial or something.
Like, the Steam just drops immediately. Like, I don't...
So when they were playing it in the...
I bet they were great at it when they were playing
They were great at it, yes, but...
like, we shouldn't have to fix this. Like, this is... They've submitted it like this, and I'm not sure I'm going to be able to play this any better just because I can see the things. Do you think?
Maybe, because so the idea at the start of the game was that they boost the boiler pressure to be high enough so that you can start expending it to get up hills and things.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Though again, this is something they told me and would definitely have been good to see in the tutorial.
Yeah.
What did you think of the... So this is meant to be dynamic difficulty, so what's going to happen when...
So they said in the expo that as the as you play better and use more resources, the sort of instability of each of the dials would increase.
Okay.
So you would have to expend, I think, more cylinder pressure, or it would go up faster and down faster, I think.
There's just
similarly with the firebox temperature.
There's no indication to me as to what like the pressure thing is doing.
We're missing this bottom left dial as well, which is
okay.
I think one of the most important dials in the game. So it's a real shame that the UI is a bit negative.
Well, what resources did I run out of?
Hang on, I was just going to say, can we go back to Unity and see if we can get this?
Yeah, hang on. Like this is not a responsibility, Cam. Like
it absolutely is
this,
not.
And it's buggy and doesn't work. So
is that doing
it's going to fit even less.
Do it the other way.
Maybe half them.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure how they've stitched this UI together.
It's interesting, isn't it?
It is. It's a bit different to how I usually see this done.
Right.
Alright, that's at least playable now. Cool.
You have an interesting definition of playable. Like, do you know what was irritating and dumb? This first level has an uphill at the very beginning.
So you'll see the firebox temperature's now getting really high and your boiler pressure's starting to increase.
And how do I reduce those?
Reduce the
firebox temperature.
That's, I think, by... It just goes down over
Oh,
time.
that's my speed.
So it makes quite a big difference having the labels on each of the UI elements, I think. So you'll see your boiler pressure's getting really high. I think if that maxes out, you explode. Interesting, you just ran out of water for some reason.
Steam. Do I ever get water back?
Apparently not.
Oh.
So I guess this scene is also...
I'm just going to keep playing the tutorial. Now we're stuck in this scene. Yeah, I still don't understand how the... I don't understand how the dynamic difficulty adjustment helps me in this.
So I think one of the criticisms I had of this, when I saw it in the Expo, was that it seems to sort of gradually shift you towards a equilibrium or a middle point. Yeah. So as you do better at the game in turn sort of punishes you,
right,
by making you expend more resources and making dials more unstable.
Yeah.
And without really rewarding the player in any way, that can be quite a damaging experience. So why should they do well?
Yeah, I don't understand how that's trying to be a useful adaptation. Why are you making things harder? Main menu.
They could make it so that if you keep failing to go up the hills, they stop getting you. Then we might be able to play it.
Yeah. So did you have any instinct for how to play this well?
I can give it a shot. I've not actually tried it.
I mean...
So it seemed like they always let the boiler pressure get quite high.
This is a really, really good example of when a tutorial should show you through the interface what to do.
So I mean, it's interesting that the actual first level seems easier than the tutorial.
Yeah. Well, at least to get anywhere.
So you've got quite a high boiler pressure, so if you let some more gas out...
But it goes straight away.
You let the steam release, not the gas regulator, not the steam release.
Oh, was I not letting... Like, how far can I go round?
I'm not 100%
Like,
sure.
I don't understand why it's rotating either. Why is it counting me in? Like, what? Like, why is this
seems
rotating?
like quite a nice
rather
idea
than-
for a game. Sort of, it's essentially a train driving sim, a Steam train driving sim. But unfortunately, that sort of seems to bring with it the complexity of driving a steam train,
Yeah.
which would be good
Without
to
ever
explain.
teaching you how to do it.
Okay, so release more steam.
You did it.
How?
The gas regulator. Oh no, not the steam release. The gas regulator.
You said Steam. I've got it on recording. You definitely said Steam.
Sorry, gas regulator then.
I think I'm on max. Like, what else am I meant to do?
I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, this is punishing. Like, go on, Callum. You have a go.
What are the controls?
It's just C and left and right.
Okay, so if I really pump up my temperature in my firebox here.
Like, I think you're right. There is a nugget of an interesting game here. Like, it's not really a puzzle. It's maybe a. It's like a. It's a thing. No, it's a. It's like a sim game almost. You've got to control the thing exactly, or quite a lot like a steam train is, but it just sort of. It's a hard skill game, and I'm not really being taught how to do it.
Not getting the necessary skills, right?
Yeah,
And
and
there's
like.
a lot of different dials that you don't seem to be able to do anything about.
Yeah,
or
like the steam
care
release is
about,
pointless because you instantly lose all your water and then it's done. Like, because the steam release is on off, and you turn it on and all your water's gone, and then like, oh well, it's
Yeah.
game over. And like, obviously the challenge intended.
Oh, my
here-
boiler exploded apparently.
Lol.
Oh, because the water temperature got high. The challenge here is meant to be that you've got a finite amount of coal, and you've got to get to the end of the track, but this is not well balanced. Like, this is really, really hard to do that. Like, this needs. Like, I'm trying to solve a level and do it in like the minimal amount of coal as possible, but without even being told how to control the track. No, whilst trying to guess how to control this using quite a complex control scheme. And it's frustrating. It's like those times when you. I know you get like a parent and give them a first-person shooter and go, "Oh, this is easy. I play this 100 hours a week. Why can't you control 2 analog sticks, two buttons, and change weapons in a Twitch shooter?" It's like, because it's not an interface they're used to, and it's challenging, and they have to learn that. And don't like. This is like, this doesn't even rely on the fact that people have played with this interface before. Because we haven't, like, we've never used this interface before. Come on, Callum, you can do it.
I'm just gonna let everything like
Just whack all the gas out.
I'm waiting for the boiler pressure to get really high so I can actually make it down that.
Is that the deal? Why is the boiler pressure getting high?
Because I think my firebox temperature is quite high, but then my water temperature gets up, and I don't know how to
But why do you want your boiler pressure high?
so that I can put it into the cylinders. I
Right.
think. But actually, all I'm doing is just.
You've run out of water.
I can't bring my water temperature down fast enough to.
Yeah.
It really needed more thorough playtesting, I think.
Yeah.
Specifically with someone who wasn't the developers of the game.
I feel like it didn't need to be this complicated either. Like, it's not.
But I think that's where all the challenge of the game is. Like, it's not interesting. Just like, if you just press go to move train, then what's even the purpose?
There isn't one.
Right.
I guess you could have a sort of interesting, like, one button, almost like endless runner of like, how far can you get on the amount of coal you've got. What was that game where you were? It was on mobile and you were a bird and not Flappy Bird.
Okay.
But what was Flappy Bird?
Come on.
No, and there were, like, the terrain was like bouncy up and down. Was like
I got it.
It's not Flappy.
It's not Flappy Bird, and you like.
Oh, there's another hill.
Gliding down the slope, so you had to like flap to get up and then drop, and as you hit the down slopes, you like.
Okay.
Swung
Yeah, I
through
think I know
them.
the one you mean.
And you could make a game like that where you're like trying to. You've got a finite amount of coal, so every time you press.
I think I beat the level.
Good work.
Right.
Go with the amount
Your
of coal.
reward is another level.
and you have to like ease off. And maybe that's what Steam Release is. That's you like not you wasting coal, and you're like.
I don't know what's going on, but it seems to be working.
Does it?
Dude, you're rolling backwards.
I'm just pouring more coal in, right? And
well, it feels like that's the only thing, right? You just pour coal in and whack the gas regulator.
There we go. More coal, and I got to the end.
So there's almost nothing to stop you.
So I think it feels like there's some adaptive difficulty going on here, because it feels... hang on. It feels different to the last game, but I don't know how it feels different. Just like the dials seem to be moving differently. That's all I can really say.
Right.
But that could just be the game.
Alright, let's just...
Are you using the gas... Did you ease off the gas regulator there?
It jumped to maximum when I hit a button, so I thought I'd just leave it there.
Need more.
If I just max this out, how do I max this out? Can I just like turn it all the way around?
Yeah, it does like 2 loops or something.
So it'd be nice if I didn't have to like hold this button forever and a day to max out the... Oh, I'm going to run out of steam now.
Yeah.
But there's no way for me to beat the level anyway.
Or you failed it. Like, it's difficult to tell.
So it would be nice if to turn the gas regulator you didn't have to hold the button for about 2 years. Just because it's sort of if you're trying to sort of release a bunch of gas and get back again, it's really hard to do quickly. Yeah, there really is like I think quite a nice nugget of a game here, but it's just not well formed yet.
Okay, but would it benefit from dynamic difficulty?
That's a point.
Like this would benefit from just having some levels designed that like made it an interesting graduation of challenge. Like, give me an easy level to begin with where I can actually complete it in the tutorial, rather than having an impossible slope to go up as the first challenge, and then have some like I don't.
So is the implementation effective? Does it perceptibly impact play?
No.
I can't see it.
I have absolutely no. I would have no sense that this was dynamic difficulty adjustment, other than the fact that you just told me.
Similarly, is the innovation meaningful in terms of gameplay or experience?
Where's my Steam going?
No.
So that again,
is the innovation meaningful in terms of gameplay or experience?
I don't think so.
It doesn't seem to be making much of a difference to even how we play the game.
I mean, it's hard. Yeah, we didn't even notice it.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say anything about it, really.
Like,
did they tell you anything about how they're adjusting it? It makes the tiles.
It makes them more unstable, so they're more prone to moving and depleting faster.
Right. Okay.
But again, even with
realistic?
that usage,
Like, does that happen in?
I don't think trains dynamically adjust to make things harder for their driver.
That's what I mean. Like what?
So yeah, I mean, maybe more interesting would have been to adjust the map, adjust the course that's off the screen.
That's what I was thinking.
To make it harder,
Like on the fly,
rather than changing the actual rules of the game that it kind of requires you to learn. Because changing the ground from underneath your feet.
Yeah, that's a really bad move with dynamic difficulty, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas it's not requiring you to adapt, it's sort of requiring to change your fundamental tactics almost.
Just your understanding of how this works. And given that this is already enormously challenging, it's enormously punishing to learn how this system works, to then then screw with that and just be like, ha.
It doesn't seem to have made it easier though, despite the fact that we were really struggling with it.
Yeah, we're really terrible at this game, and it's not. What's the tactic? Is it to have high boiler pressure, or is it to
I think it's just to use all your coal.
All your coal
and max out your gas regulator. That seems to work.
Right. But then you run out of steam.
I mean, the idea is like you conserve as many of your resources as possible, but...
Go over. Go on. Did I complete that?
I'm sure.
I don't know.
Who knows?
And it starts a new level with your gas regulator already on. Oh, yeah. Full steam ahead.
Should we move on then?
Oh, have we addressed all the questions?
Did we talk about quality?
Oh yeah, quality.
Quality.
So, thoughts on that?
It seems alright. Like, it looks okay.
The UI is quite, like, the actual dials are quite nice. It's a nice touch for something that's meant to be a bit of a sim game.
There are no obvious bugs.
After we fix
but
their
it's
UI.
hard to tell.
Bug? The UI didn't work.
Okay.
You had to fix it.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. So, apart from that, there are no obvious bugs, but it is a bit hard to tell because it's really hard.
Yeah.
Sort of
I think that's a bug in itself. Is it's
Yeah.
not a well balanced game.
we don't understand it. There's not enough information for the user to. So one thing that even sort of flight sims and things might do is they tell you how fast your altitude is increasing or decreasing.
Yeah.
And just even if you could just see that your firebox temperature being high was increasing your boiler pressure, just with some little UI element saying that, that would be really nice.
Just like warning, flashing red light. Or
You're
something.
doing a lot better now you stopped actually playing.
Yeah, no, for the record, my hands are off the keyboard and I just seem to be way better at this game.
Right.
I think we should
cool.
move on.
Yeah,
that's
now we'll
fine.
move on, yeah.
Okay, so I'm back.
Dave's back. In case-
Yay!
Our next game is called Ice and Spikes.
Does it contain ice and spikes?
It does actually.
Oh my god, an appropriately named game. That's amazing.
I'm going to try and full screen there.
Oh,
Right, so yeah, this lets you
start spacebar.
enter a seed if you want. Or...
Can we test the seed out?
Well, let's just start it without and see how we get on. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I
my
remember
goodness.
this.
You slide on ice for as long as you can whilst avoiding the approaching
remember this.
spike wall coming from the left.
Yeah.
Ah,
you
whoa.
the instructions before.
Holy. Yeah, let's
Right.
read. Can we read these?
Oh my goodness.
This
that's
is a
lot
rock.
of stuff.
This
Right,
is
so
This is
So
not how
s-
you tutorial a game.
so don't walk into the obstacles. Those things shoot
This
spikes.
is if you fall into holes,
The
you
important
die.
thing-
So the
the
holes look a
power-ups.
little bit like a rock.
There are also power-ups. Okay, so it's like an endless runner.
Yeah.
Oh, is it
skating
endless?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the problem is because you start off with this massive set of text, it actually looks a bit like a sort of like a puzzle game.
So you pretty much probably
He
want
died.
to follow
He got
the
hit by a spike.
power-ups.
Okay.
So this is a snowflake. It freezes the death. This is a pickaxe. You can destroy a single rock in your way.
So, but the point is, you slide up to the rocks. You've got no control. You can't stop along the way. or
Okay,
change
so you
direction.
have to puzzle your way in this way,
That's pretty harsh.
right?
Oh,
And
wow.
this is what I said to them when they were developing this. I was like, when you make a game like this as a puzzle game, it's normally restricted, and the
Yeah.
trick is there's a solution through it, and that's really hard to find.
Yeah.
And now they've done this, and they've multiplied it by 10, and gone, it's still really difficult to find the solution.
Yeah. So most of the time, though, in fairness, you only have a couple of choices. So what you're actually doing is going, I'm not planning ahead at all. I'm just going to the next thing.
Yeah.
And
And you're
now I've
stuck.
gone the wrong way, and then I'm dead.
Dead. Yeah.
So
Because you can't plan ahead.
Yeah.
You've got no.
If you can, you want to follow the power-ups.
Oh, you fell down a hole.
But
One
Rich,
thing-
there's no power-ups. Right, there's a power-up
Yeah.
there.
okay, you can just go.
Rachel did said if you can.
Yeah, so
Ah,
that
you got
one
optimal
illuminates
path, there
the
you go.
path for you. So the way they do it is they generate a path and then generate the obstacles around it. So there may be
Okay.
more than one path, but
But
that
they
power-up will
guarantee-
show you the path that they generated.
So
and they
that's quite
guarantee
nice
it.
actually.
Yeah.
They generate
Yeah.
a path and they randomly generate a bunch of other stuff around it. and
No,
So they guarantee
it's
you've
not.
got a thing.
Because it's
Just
impossible.
because you're bad at it, Ricky.
Yeah, I think maybe you should just like.
Yeah,
That was
That
that
was-
was
That was pretty
wow.
fantastic.
That was OP. Right? And because it's
What were you
poorly,
saying?
because it was
Possible.
poorly
Look, you're
planned.
miles ahead now.
It's poorly designed algorithm that allowed that to happen.
So
So
my
harsh.
my complaint,
Go on,
I
Rachel.
think.
No,
Three,
because I'm
one,
going to be
69.
worse at it and then I can't.
Yeah, that's my point.
So the two little nitpicking things for me are the spike wall seems a bit fast compared to your actual sort of
Right.
traversing speed. You can only really move one block per two slides.
13.
That seems a little unbalanced.
I wonder if they play tested it with different speeds. Because
No,
I
they can't have done
agree.
dead. Oh,
It
no, you got
feels really, really fast.
Right. Maybe get up to that
And
speed when
also,
I've had
and
like
also
5
it
minutes
starts
to
off
play.
Yeah,
pretty
it
much
should be-
straight away, right?
Should definitely be
Really close to you too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It should wait until you get halfway across the screen before it starts.
Secondly, those spike shooters, they seem like a timing puzzle in a game that's about being fast.
Yeah, the spike shooters are completely irrelevant.
Yeah,
because
okay.
Yeah.
This
Because
algorithm
you've
is a
got-
bit broken.
You've got no capacity to take it into account, right?
6!
So
Shut up.
do you remember when we were doing the story one and we always said like if you have failure, make it meaningful? it feels like you can fail a couple of moves back in this and not realise, which is the real problem.
I think because the path is so far ahead and you don't have enough information to figure out the path.
I think they
you
should
need
just
to
not
know.
have the holes at all.
Yeah. So what the thing I compared it to them when I was talking in development is you have to think ahead as many like steps as you right, you can even see that. You have to think ahead as many steps as you would in like chess or something. Because there at each point there are 3 different ways to go, and then there's 3 more and 3 more and 3 more and 3 more.
Have you never played speed chess?
Right? But you don't normally have a spiky wall chasing you whilst you're doing it.
Have you ever played ice skating while being chased by a spiky wall?
Can confirm I have.
While people are shooting at you.
There was that episode where Gareth Kasparov was chased by a massive spiky wall.
I'm starting to wonder how they were so good at this.
Let's have a go.
That famous soap opera with chess players.
Okay, so which way am I going to start with? Okay.
So yeah, I think the other problems is, like I said, I don't really think you can think more than
that's a
more
hole.
than
That's a hole.
one thing ahead, right?
Oh.
So what that really means is that all of the power-ups are kind of pointless because you don't have any kind of meaningful choice to try and get to them. Because
You shouldn't have a failed path. You should have slower paths. And
yeah.
Go Spike, go!
Crushed by spikes because of it, but you shouldn't.
And again, the spikes, like you said, the spikes are odd because it just adds a timing element. It's just confused what they're trying to achieve.
Oh, cool! I can mine now.
when they
Great.
So is your suggestion that what they should have done is generate multiple paths
I am just stuck.
and then evaluate?
I had a pickaxe. Can I use the pickaxe?
I think they
and
just...
then
Yeah, I think they needed some more constraints on their algorithm, to be fair. You shouldn't be able to get stuck, so that you're just going to die.
So the important thing about the error in this,
Press the space bar to destroy the rock.
this is a puzzle of lack of information.
yeah,
And that's what makes it an interesting puzzle when you have it in a constrained space. Because you have to try lots of different combinations. You're like, oh, it's not that one.
Yeah,
it's
so
not that
he's
one.
just stuck.
Oh, it's not that one.
Right,
what?
it's dead.
Yeah,
So
that's spike.
I was curious why the spike wall wasn't moving.
Where this would be interesting is if this was a proper maze, like a constrained maze,
Yeah.
and you could see there were like 3 possible routes through it.
Yeah.
And you looked ahead on the right hand side of the screen and went, oh, I can go the top route or the middle route or the bottom route, or the bottom route looks quickest, and you're
there's
racing
more.
against the wall, but you can see that the path is
Yeah, and
here,
one of the routes is harder.
Uh,
that has
nope,
more power.
I'm just dead.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Yeah.
Here there's so little information about what the path
No.
is, because you have to think 5 steps ahead,
Yeah.
which is just really difficult to do as a
No,
human being.
I don't think you can under that.
Especially
I
under
mean,
the
maybe you
contract.
can. So we want a couple of cases where you've got quite a long way ahead of the ball, in which case it is possible to start doing it.
What?
So now, for example, you can start planning ahead, right?
Yeah, so maybe if
Make
the
him
wall
die,
was...
make him die, make
So
him
maybe
die.
if the
If the
wall
wall was slower?
if the wall was slower or didn't start so damn close to you,
Yeah.
There we go.
No!
or
Aha!
if the freeze power up was more common.
Yeah. Or the path
well,
power up as well, yeah. So it does feel like it could be a nice game with some
I'm
tweaking
quite
of
a bit
it.
awesome at this.
He's just had a lucky run.
Oh no!
227.
Go on. Same seed. Come on, let's.
Go on, Sir Millard.
Same.
Yeah, so that's a nice touch. They put the seed up. So
Wait, is it copy and pastable? Oh no.
Well,
No.
that's
So it should be
Someone,
It was nearly
someone
nice.
remember that.
Well, why isn't there just a button? There's just restart
Right.
something.
Yeah.
What was it, Callum?
It was
1415
Okay.
something.
That it wasn't that.
I mean, wouldn't it have just been good to have a 4-digit seed rather than a 8-digit, so you can remember it?
Yeah. I suppose they're taking the time, are they? Which is why
You gotta be
it's
faster.
silly.
You gotta be fast.
All right, let's start talking about this. So we've got quality.
No. Oh yeah.
No, it's a bit harsh.
I was sorry. I'll take it back.
That's a bit harsh.
It's
My
it's
issue
polished.
was with the
I
general.
would
Yeah.
say the quality's pretty good, actually.
Yeah, it's.
Oh crap. Now what do I do?
You're just
That's
stuck.
stuffed.
You're stuck.
You're dead.
That's the issue. If you can
There's-
get stuck. Like
Yeah,
with-
there's no resolving when you get stuck.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a gameplay design. I mean, that's procedural.
No, that's
It- yeah,
that's
it's
still
their
procedural.
algorithm.
So in terms of the game itself, it's very playable.
Mm.
The mechanics work. It's a game.
Yeah.
It's a game. It looks good. Graphics are all consistent.
It's mildly addictive.
I like the power-ups as well.
It is definitely playable. Power-ups are quite nicely chosen.
I like the power-ups actually a lot. I think the points is a bit unnecessary, but like the...
And it's just the distance.
So you can compete. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I really like
distance.
the path one is fantastic. The mining pickaxe one is quite interesting. Maybe actually the biggest complaint, if anything, is too many power-ups. But the ones they've got are really a nice choice. Like the freezing is really valuable.
Yeah, it does work. I think maybe the rocks and the holes look a bit too similar as well. Just kind of like do with a bit of more differentiation.
Yeah.
Tutorial could be.
But generally the quality is good. It's a shame there's no sound actually. so a little MIDI soundtrack would have gone really well.
Bit of a Wilhelm scream as you go in a hole.
But yeah,
you just sing Darude sounds.
Yeah, other than that, okay. So let's talk about the implementation then. So does the procedural generation generate quality content?
No.
I think to an extent it does a fairly good job of making sure there is a path through.
It works.
I think
works.
I think it does. I just think it could do better.
Yeah, it does. I think it works, but it doesn't. It doesn't make sure that the path has no blind leaps of faith in it, where you have to kind of just dive off into the distance, and it doesn't do anything to stop you getting into complete dead ends where you've got no option.
It would be nice if they put a guarantee that sort of a dead end wouldn't be more than sort of 2 moves away. So 1 move, then you're forced to die.
I also think I'm surprised they only generate 1 path. Like I bet even if you just generated 2 more paths,
it'd be a lot.
And then and then put stuff around that. Even then, I think it would it would mean that you had more options to go through, more possibility of making your way through the maze.
I mean,
dead ends would appear less often.
You could almost do a bit of adaptive difficulty with it just by generating more or fewer paths.
Yes, you could.
I think you could probably generate the paths on the fly, like off the screen, like as they're coming on, depending on where the player's gone on the level. But I think it just needs to be way more constrained.
Did they say, who looked at this, did they say if it was online or offline generation?
I'm pretty sure it's online.
Well,
I think
it's
it does
at the beginning.
40 squares at a time, I think they said.
Oh, okay. So then it regenerates.
Well, I don't think it's adapting based on that, is it? It's just
no, I don't think it's adapting.
So it definitely works, but could do better, basically.
Could be a more validated algorithm.
And would be a lot less frustrating if it was. So meaningfulness. Does it help the game that it has this generation?
It lets it be endless. It lets it replayability.
Yeah.
So it's nice from the endless perspective, but
it's not fun because of that. Like,
no,
it's not,
and you don't get far enough.
Interesting.
Yeah, you're not going to get that
solution.
You're not going to get. I mean, endless runners are they benefit because you get a long way in, right?
And I think they tend to increase in difficulty as well. Does this actually increase in difficulty, or is it just always punishing?
Always punishing.
And you've got a dead end.
Okay, so it you can justify it by saying it gives replayability, and it's things like that, right? It should check against things like that.
No, exactly.
I thought that was a power up. I was like, brilliant. I'm going to go round.
Does it take advantage of the fact it's got procedural generation?
Not really.
No.
It doesn't do anything special because of it. It doesn't.
Like, if it was making it more fun to play by generating bits of level that you could get onto on the fly, like as it was getting to the edge, it was like giving you interesting challenges based on what you've done before, then it would be. But it's just not. It's just blindly, we've generated this at the start, get on with it.
Yeah.
And because the algorithm's a little bit frustrating, that's just not. It's not satisfying. Like it's not. I'm not having enough fun.
I quite enjoy it, but I'm a masochist, so.
I think it's pretty good.
I mean, it's valid. It's valid having a hard game, right? It's a pretty valid thing to do.
But I like hard games, but I like hard games because they feel achievable. Like I don't feel like I can get better at this because
just like checkpoints would be quite interesting, actually. Something like that. What if you got every 200 points you got a checkpoint? So.
Yeah,
right. Then anything like that, anything where I can replay a bit and it's hard, and then you have some.
Or if by default it gave you the same seeds, you could actually improve at the same level. Would be an interesting idea.
Yeah, so being able to replay that same seed over and over might be.
I mean, we
that
can
was
do
off
it.
screen.
I mean, yeah. So again, even with that, they've got score, but they haven't got a high score table. What might be nice would be to have a high score table, and you can select one of the high scores, and it remembers the seed, and then you can actually compete against that.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Something like that. I mean, they're just little things that they could have done.
I mean, ultimately, anything that's about score is about amassing. Is about competition with yourself, really, and others. And I think when games forget that, they start to suffer a little bit from a lack of focus.
Yeah.
So that idea is really nice, because you could then compete against seeds that are actually fun levels to play, and you could almost make a community effort, like a social element of finding those interesting levels to play.
Sort of a community rank difficulty kind of thing.
Yes.
That would be quite interesting as well if it actually gave you a difficulty. So I reckon this is probably quite hard.
But if you go into that effort, then like you can decide to make levels that aren't.
True.
Alright, I think we should probably move on.
Yeah.
Okay, so game number 3 is Crater Command.
Operation Command all of the crates.
No full screen.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Nice UI.
Yeah.
Is the first impression.
Yeah, looks good.
Oh, it's this one.
Incoming transition.
Ah.
Explosive enemy drones. Let's return to continue.
So it's a turret shooter,
Not click.
and you have
Aim your
access
turret. Fire the machine gun.
Okay.
to each of the
And
four
you've
sides.
got a. So, can you turn around and look the other way?
No.
So you can only look forward.
But you can switch sides.
Oh.
I think it's just not told you how to do that yet.
Die. I'm really bad at.
Oh, it's got a little hit
shooting,
icon. That's quite nice.
That's cute.
A what icon?
It tells you when it's hit because of the red marker.
Yeah. Time until next wave. Okay, so it gives you.
Okay, so it's told you, it's taken you to the next wave, and it's actually told you here's the rest of the abilities you'll need to deal with this wave.
Right,
Oh, do I have to read
you've got
that?
right mouse
What?
button is fire the rocket launcher.
Right, and what else is that?
And
rocket
you've got
launcher.
There's a van coming towards you.
Oh, heavy drones have high armor, so 2 is armor piercing. So do you press it?
Two.
Oh, yeah, and your bottom left. You've got a limited number.
Oh,
of
you
armor
can
bits.
see the health on it, so it's got a little ring around the base with health on.
Oh,
So
cool.
how do you know how do you know which one you're using?
Bottom left, machine gun armor
It's
piercing.
highlighted. At
Oh,
the
okay.
bottom.
And then you've got Q and E, cycle.
Other direction, Rach.
I
Yeah.
can't see.
Q and E.
Q and E.
And again.
Okay, so it tells you which way you're facing
Yeah,
as
and
well.
again.
Well, there you go.
Right, okay.
Oh, that's a bit weird. So you sort of.
That's really weird. Die.
So one nice thing about
You're
this,
got another one. On your left.
You need armor piercing.
Oh no, you're right. There you go.
it's giving us a lot of feedback with what's happening and which
Crates-
direction we're
crates
facing, where
contain
enemies are coming
power-ups.
from.
So they've done a very good
It's
job.
polished, isn't it? Like,
Yeah,
it's-
it
And
looks
if you
nice.
go to the north too, well, some crates floating around.
Get them. Are there more?
It's-
Is there one over to
it's-
the right?
It's got some pretty solid information design actually. Sort of
Yeah, I really like the mini-map radar thing. It's
this game would be very hard and without that mini map, but that mini map just makes it achievable. Should we have a look at the difficulty?
Do you know what that mini map needs? It needs
How to
your
how?
section to always be the top, and then to label Q and E as the
Really?
the two
Yeah,
sides.
go on, let's hit P and see what happens.
Interesting. I actually think it would be. I
So
like
that-
it how it is, to be honest.
So that's the difficulty stuff. So it's adaptive difficulty. So that's the data they've got.
So I did a tiny bit well, and now I'm going to be killed.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? Rocket launcher.
Die.
Okay, so it looks like it's balancing it based on quadrant.
Yeah, so there is a rating per quadrant as to how the tension they're trying to make you feel in that quadrant.
That's
Okay.
interesting.
So
And
yeah,
then-
they went for a sort of Left 4 Dead director style thing where they're trying to model the
There's a
tension that you feel in
There's
that
tanks.
quadrant.
You should kill the big thing.
I will. It
Oh
was like
wow,
high up.
there's everything coming from everywhere.
Like, is it just going to be I did alright, so I'm going to die now, or
Yeah.
This looks doable still. Like
it says you?
you have rockets.
Try press number 2. Get your armor
Rocket
piercing.
them.
I was trying. I think there's a timer on the rocket launcher or something. Oh,
Oh,
don't
I'll-
waste it on the normal ones.
Okay. Oh, that's a nice bit of
Wait,
design though.
That's good.
It told you that you were shooting
Rocket
them with.
launcher.
How much can I be damaged?
You've still
you've
got
lost.
Tower
That's
HP.
all right- that's
Yeah,
all right
that's
then.
good.
So maybe it'll be less punishing now.
So it says this game state is still ramping up. It says game state ramp up here.
Wish it would.
So maybe it still thinks you're doing quite well, apparently.
Oh, yeah, you're doing it right.
What's the arcade
Oh my god,
confidence?
there's millions of them.
I'm only doing it alright because I have loads of health though. I didn't kill.
Go to the right quadrant. You're going to get shot.
Rocket, I reckon. I think that's how much you're using it. So you're not really using the armor piercing, so your confidence in that is low.
I probably should have used
Yeah,
it.
rocket confidence went up then.
I guess it's also like ability, like how good are you at hitting things.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh, you got a
There's one
tank.
behind you. There he is.
Armor piercing. Oh yeah, and as you shoot it, the armor piercing confidence is going up.
So, this is quite good, isn't it?
It's quite
Yeah.
a good game, like it.
They've done a nice job.
Game state, assault. Is that because there's...
Oh, look, they're coming from everywhere.
But I don't feel like I've been particularly like
So
good.
there's some crates around somewhere. There's one.
Are you going to get shot from behind?
I'm gonna get shot from
So
everywhere.
I think they
The
felt
enemy
they
has
hadn't
started a
quite
massive all-range
balanced it
assault, sending
as they
ammo.
wanted.
Hmm?
I think they felt like they didn't quite balance it as they wanted. But
Okay.
it feels like a solid game, doesn't it?
Yeah,
It does,
definitely.
yeah.
It
Yeah,
feels
and it is
polished,
quite tense. It feels like you've got an awful lot going on.
but not too much, and the game
and
tells you.
The information is the information design is excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So the
Do
only
we
thing
feel
is,
like the dynamic difficulty's having an impact? Or do we think?
It's hard to tell, really.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Northeast. So it says that the quadrant tension in the east is quite high.
so who's all this in the expo?
I did.
So what are they actually doing with the?
Oh,
They're showing us the numbers.
It's giving the
but-
player a breather, game state breather.
Yeah. So they did say that
Why?
they aim for some pacing in this.
But what
So
is it
that-
giving
that's
me a
nice.
breather
And then
for?
ramp up.
What did I do?
It's just
I think it's just for
natural
tension.
pacing.
Yeah,
Natural
it's
Right,
pacing.
so that's not
Pacing.
dynamic. It's not because
Well,
I'm
it might be
playing
when
a
it
certain way.
chooses to do that.
I have to say that is very nice. That idea of actually having a
Different states.
different states that the game is in, and
Yeah, it's really good. I want
giving
like
you a rest, giving you okay, we're going to build up to have a big assault, build up to a super enemy.
but what is changing depending on the way I'm playing? Like
Oh, the sound.
I can't tell.
I think it's mostly the enemies in each of the quadrants.
I
So
think the
whether
type
the-
of enemies
the
as well.
the type or
So
the amount. Like
Although the mini map does work, I do kind of still almost feel like you need some sort of peripheral awareness to tell you
maybe.
yeah, it'd be good.
that you ought to be going to the right, jump to the right corner of the tower. Or,
So it says that east tension and the west tension was high, and I think each time it spawns an enemy there, it drops the tension. I'm not sure. Just looking at these numbers.
But those tensions have been quite high all the time. Like the east tension has been.
But
30
how
or
does
40
it
of-
measure that? Like
I guess that's it.
I thought it was trying to increase the tension in all the quadrants over the course of the game, so it builds up to a climax. Oh, you missed.
oh well. I think like the bullets are pretty good.
okay, so the next one is.
You got plenty of ammo as
I
well.
quite like the way it gives you little game states things as well. Like
Mm.
the enemy is launched all that assault and all that stuff. That's good.
So east and west have got the highest tensions. Yeah, and east and west are where all the enemies are spawning. Like it does seem that it's either.
Also, I do wonder about. So you've got right mouse button is fire the rockets. It feels a
If
bit-
you run out of rockets, what happens? Can you just use rockets and everything?
There's a timeout on them.
Oh, okay.
I feel like the health is interesting because I've just let a lot of them crash into the tower, but I suppose
I
I'll
think-
die in a
Yeah,
second.
the
So
little ones.
But the odds of you getting a power-up spawn for health just... Like,
A 0.
it was 0.95. Now it's
Right.
0.
Did you just gain one?
Oh, there we go. That was probably a health power-up.
Yeah, that
right,
is.
okay, so the power-ups change because I'm taking loads of damage as well.
Okay, so when it reaches, like, power-up spawn chance, it goes back to 0 when the power-up spawns.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's trying to
Oh,
gradually
you've
ramp it
accidentally
up.
firing
Give you more
rockets
and more
at
chance of
everything.
getting stuff.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting question. If it's doing adaptive difficulty well, should we be able to feel it?
Yeah,
Like,
I
is
mean-
one of the aims not to? Like to.
it depends, but my feeling is that what you should be doing is you should be you should be using adaptive difficulty to give this particular player a good game experience. So if they're trying to have this kind of pacing curve, then if that's working, then the adaptive difficulty is working. Right? So it does feel like that's working.
Yeah.
I suppose that there's a separate question, which is, would that have achieved anyway, even if you didn't have the adaptive difficulty, just by having different modes that it cycles through?
I think so.
For its kind of endless rounds of enemies, and I suspect it probably would have done.
I think the other question about that is it good to keep the player just continually going? Because if we're adapting like how much health they get dropped and things like that, that's gonna keep them alive.
Yeah,
I think the traditional.
That's the only reason I've been kept alive.
Yeah, the traditional model would be you'd have a set of levels, and the player would get to one that's too hard for them, and they'd practice it a few times, and then they'd come back in, and one day they'll complete it, and then they'll move on to another level, and that'll probably be a bit difficult.
So is there a score, right? Because again, it depends on
just what wave you got up to.
So that's the problem then, isn't it? So by making it how long you survive, the adaptive difficulty no longer actually is working very well, is it? Because two people could both get up to wave 10 and they've had radically different experiences.
Yeah.
Whereas I think if you actually had a score that was based on, you know, the number of tanks you destroyed, or the type of tanks, then if you get a lot more tanks, you get a lot more score, right? And it's possible for someone who's not as good to get the same score, but they've got to go for a lot longer.
Yeah.
So that's
got
a
a challenge in a different dimension.
Consistent way of doing it. Let's talk about it. So in terms of quality,
Nice,
lovely.
really nice.
very
Lovely game.
polished, isn't it? Really
Yeah.
good. It's got good sound effects working. It's got a nice
controls are
consistent
good.
set of graphics.
Good visuals.
Really
well
good
thought information
through.
design.
Yeah.
So good. Such a good
Information design's
interface.
great. So yeah, this is a really nice example.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
What's that?
The number of enemies now.
Yeah, that's
You can do it, Callum. We believe in you.
If I keep missing.
You should probably try and hit the
Yeah.
enemies.
I think you'll be alright. Like, I think they could all crash into the tower and you'd be alright.
Well, that's the other
waste
thing.
out on that. You've got a giant
So-
one over there.
I'll deal with the giant one after I've dealt with all these
Just
guys.
Stop firing.
Oh, okay. I'll watch this guy. Where is he?
Because they don't fire at you, so they do actually have to reach you.
Yeah, it's interesting that they're tanks, isn't it?
Yeah.
So right now it says it's going to give me a HP power up.
Which is very well.
0.95.
Wow.
So what these automatically get you? Do you think if they hit the tower? Or?
I don't know. How much health am I going to lose? Wow. Is this just going to kill me?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
So it is possible to die. That was the other thing.
Yeah.
I was just wanting to check.
Ruined our perfect game, Dave.
I know.
So is the dynamic difficulty meaningful in this case?
Does it perceptibly impact play? That's the first thing. Can you actually tell the difference?
So it seemed to me, watching the numbers, like it was genuinely giving a breather when the health got low. Like that seemed to be having quite a perceptible impact.
So in some of the other videos we've done, we've talked about having kind of more dramatic, like modal changes. And if the game state genuinely does result, if the game state doesn't just cycle through breather, ramp up, assault, breather, ramp up, assault, if it genuinely is dynamic, then that's very good. But I'm not sure it is.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure either.
Doesn't seem like anything is fundamentally changing between the waves.
You're only on tutorial at the moment.
Yeah.
Do we think?
So, but it is the case that it does provide you with challenge.
So it says crates contain. Oh, there we go. Am I getting some crates now? What am I getting?
It does provide you with a challenge. I think a couple of bits are a bit off. Because like I said, I felt like most of the enemies were just hitting me, but you get health. Like,
so maybe the tanks do more damage to you or something.
yeah, just a bit of tweaking.
Okay, so we just left tutorial mode now.
You're in ramp up.
Ramp up mode.
Let's do this. I mean, it feels like there's quite a lot coming, actually. Like, if you look at that map.
Yeah.
So we think it's affecting play, but it's not entirely obvious. I mean, at the moment, it's definitely quite gentle, isn't it?
Mm.
Yeah. Like, it definitely increased over time.
There's definitely more enemies, like...
It feels like it's doing that maybe a little bit easy, but maybe it's like a little bit perfect. Like, both Callum and Rachel seem to have been engaged in playing that, so it's challenging enough that they weren't like, yawn.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my god, look at the map. This was like late...
It never overwhelmed.
This was like Wave 13 last time. Holy crap.
I think what we're seeing here is perceptible change in difficulty.
Ah! Help! Jesus Christ.
You earned this, Callum.
Yeah, I know, and I'm regretting it now.
Stop wasting all your rockets.
I got loads of rockets. Oh, I have 6 rockets.
Perfectly valid use of rocket.
Oh, that was a waste of a rocket. So the quadrant confidence seems quite high, which I wonder if is why so many of the damn things are coming.
Yeah. Okay, so I think it does. I think it does perceptibly impact.
Yeah,
play.
I think so.
Is it meaningful? So in other words, is this a better game because it has?
Holy shit! Oh my god!
Yeah. This is definitely perceptibly impactful.
Oh my fucking... Sorry.
We'll bleep it out. We'll bleep it out, it'll be fine. So, alright. Is it meaningful in terms of gameplay? Does it make... does it need it?
Oh my god.
Do you think it needs it?
I don't know
Would
if it
it
needs
be
it.
okay with a linear ramp up of difficulty? Or would it have made those early levels
I feel like it's definitely skipped to the hard bit.
I think it would be better if, like you said about the score, if it wasn't obvious. Because I definitely felt like I survived longer because of it.
Yes, you did.
So
yeah, I think it would, like the dynamic difficulty would make it a better game, but I think it needs...
So it needs that. It needs that score
yeah.
things. Yeah, I think that's probably the next bit, isn't it? Which is does it take advantage of the innovation or not?
Yeah.
And it's like they haven't quite got that right.
That's quite
very
nice.
difficult to balance, though.
Yeah, definitely.
It is, but I mean,
It just spawned me more rockets and ammo, just as I ran out of rockets and armor-piercing ammo.
That's pretty good.
So
Oh my.
I'm still struggling with, is it meaningful? Is it? So if you had a linear game, I think the earlier waves would actually be quite boring.
Yeah.
Wouldn't they?
Or it depends on who they tune it for, right?
I'm
do they tune
in-
it for a really basic player, or do they tune it for someone who plays
So I think actually it does meaningfully impact play. It gets better players. I was about to say like Callum, but perhaps not. So
I'm just dying right now.
Those better players, it does get them straight into the action with some really nice.
Oh no.
Oh wow!
I don't think I know.
Exciting.
Oh, they do.
Oh, that's doing so little damage.
Use your armor piercing. Oh, you're
I'm out of armor piercing.
Rocket.
There you go.
Like,
done.
Is that?
This I think our consensus is that this is a very nice game.
Yeah, it's really
I
nice.
like
Yeah.
It's really difficult to get adaptive difficulty right, but it seems to be being used usefully.
Yeah.
It's perceptible. It's very hard to tell if it's tuned correctly. But
I
It's just very
think
hard to tune those sorts
look
of
at that. Look at that.
yeah.
I am
think-
enjoying this game more
They're only
because
on
it keeps
one
ramping
side.
up.
So it sounds like our only criticism is that somehow how well you are doing should be linked to the difficulty level, not just on the waves.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it makes comparison very difficult. But,
Yeah.
I agree.
but other than that, really nice example.
Ah.
Just really
Rocket.
good.
Should we move on, or should we
Okay.
finish this? Finish this
I-
wave.
I
At the
think
end
we'll
of
finish
this
this
wave,
wave, I think. Go on. Still got some rockets left.
Callum's going to survive. You got the armor.
There are a few points. It doesn't give you the refresh or the reload on the rockets. I don't think it's clear.
Oh, that's true.
And also, when you pick something up from a crate, it doesn't tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Those things would be nice little
So is
things
that
to add.
what's that?
But really
Oh, rockets.
kind of nitpicking. with it.
Health.
Okay, I think we should probably
Yeah.
leave this here. You've
Yeah.
survived the wave. Well done. Cool. We'll move
Thank
on.
you.
Yeah.
Okay, so game number 4 is Nameless Entities. Sounds good to me.
I think I saw this in the expo. Did I see this in the expo?
Generic Swarmer.
Do you want to play Rach?
Generic
Oh, it reminds-
kamikaze.
what's that? What's
Generic
that?
dodger. Generic
What
sniper.
does these remind me of? It's
Steven.
Generic
like 80s
Steven.
TV puppet show thing. Oh, what's it called? With the little spit and the squares with the evil eyes.
I think you made this up there.
Come on, guys! You remember it was on the television before you were born. That one.
Whoa.
This
Okay.
is like
Actually,
tricky.
maybe I didn't see this.
Oh, whack.
Who saw this?
Tom, maybe?
It might have been Tom.
This is interesting.
So, have a look. So he.
I'm not really sure why it's all different colours, but
I wonder if this was the group who did the flocking algorithm.
This is definitely flocking of some kind.
yeah, it looks that way. So explain what's happening with the flocking algorithm.
I
I think the
don't.
different coloured enemies travel in different.
Oh, you've got Steven.
Right,
ways
so
of
I've got more different enemies here now. I think they were Stevens. So which innovation is this meant to be?
I think it was procedural content generation of their behaviours.
Right.
So it uses Boyd's algorithm, I think,
Yeah.
and they tweaked it a bit to lead the flocking towards the player.
So what different behaviour? Do you know what different behaviours the different colours?
No idea.
Again, the soundtrack as well.
Yeah.
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 The
I
music's
would have
fantastic.
hoped that was obvious from the behaviours that they.
I mean, I've only had 2 so far, and it's not.
They all just come towards
The
you.
black ones seem to move more than the pink ones.
Can we just take a second to point out the nice parallax on the
Yeah.
space
Yeah, it
background,
is
by the
good,
way?
isn't it?
Yes.
Something I think would be useful in a couple of other games.
Just
Parallax.
circular blobs. So.
It works nicely. It fits the
Works.
aesthetic.
Gives you a good idea of motion.
Oh, sure. But what I mean is, I feel like I'm in a vacuum with an exploded beanbag, as opposed to
Yeah.
Yeah,
in a starfield.
I see what you
but
mean.
It's a very nice effect.
Okay, so far it's just been
Ah.
bigger and different groups.
What's that?
The black ones move like quicker than the other ones, it seems.
So there's the edges of your.
My exploded beanbag, yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it's generating though. Like,
It's the
Oh.
behaviours.
oh,
But when you say the behaviours, what do you mean the behaviours?
And how is it generating them? Do different ones have different behaviours, or does it generate?
Tom's notes don't say.
That's not helpful.
I mean, so I think the angle you go down with this, if you're talking about procedural content generation, is you make those players agents that react under certain rules, and then you have an emergent behaviour from the interaction of lots of those agents.
Right. Okay.
But I think what they've done is just had some different agents, and they all just appear on the screen at the same time.
interesting that it just sent a sniper from the same place as it sent the Stevens though. If you look in the minimap in the bottom right,
Yeah.
there's now a sniper in the middle of that group. I wonder if the waves are generated different every time.
But so, when they were talking about this in development, they said they wanted to use a flocking algorithm and have emergent behaviour
Yeah, I remember.
and sort of agent base it. And what I said to them was that it would be interesting to have, so to use that to define some interesting different waves. So they're like they're visibly different in how they interact. So maybe some of them all like group together really aggressively, and some of them like spread apart as much as they can, or move to a position and spread apart. Based on tweaking those algorithms. But when it becomes interesting is when, after you've trained the player on those two different types of behaviours, you put them together.
Look at the mini-map.
Suddenly you have some agents which don't want to be close to the other agents.
Yeah,
You've
that's
got
what
some
these
that do
ones
wanna
are. Look
flock.
at these on the
Oh yeah.
mini-map.
But where's the interaction between them and the ones that want to flock together and things like that?
Well, I guess maybe
Can I
that
just say
comes.
that I really like that effect when they get
The audio.
Yeah, it's
buzzing
really good.
effect
It's
is
really nice.
good.
So I think they just
attack
needed
by
more
bees.
control over which ones spawn when and like with which other ones. But apart from that, it looks like they've
So
got some
I'm
interesting
still
stuff.
watching it. I'm still a bit lost as to what is actually going on in terms of.
It feels like they're procedurally
Dynamic.
generating the waves, so they're recombining different types of enemy in different waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Having those
But
two different types of enemies.
It doesn't
just,
seem
look-
like they're actually
better at
changing the enemies themselves.
Hmm.
It's actually like the content of each wave that's changing.
I think it's interesting. I think we've pretty not seen.
It's definitely a bit different.
Yeah.
Let's see what happens. So you had a wave. So you've got these grey
So
ones.
had some red ones and had some grey ones.
You've got a wave of 3. Oh. Wave of 5.
I like the little player icon as well. It's sort of the little bar that says the direction you're facing, and then the rest of it
Yeah.
is.
Yes. Actually, it's very nicely made. Actually.
Yeah, it is.
Simple but polished.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, you got some
Pink
purple.
one.
So what are these ones? How do these behave?
They just
Did it
seem
say
a
at the
bit
beginning
slow.
how they behave?
Um,
Really
It did
weak as
say
well.
something, didn't it?
I just remember it said Stephen later.
So it seems like it's actually architecting the next wave, because first we had a wave, last game we had a wave that introduced 2 snipers, then we had snipers starting to mix in with the other enemies we've seen.
Yeah.
Now we've had a wave of pinks, then we've had 2 bits of pinks. I wonder if the next wave will be pinks and something we've seen already.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, pinks and greys.
It just so happens.
Then it's going to be
that those are quite
pinks,
similar.
greys, and
But they
reds.
just don't do anything different, do
So,
they?
but what is? So I'm still a bit lost as to what is the actual behaviour that's being changed.
Well, I can't see the difference between the pinks and the greys really, apart from the pinks are slower, but the reds were definitely different. Like they didn't.
Sure,
flux,
but
so-
what was the adaptive bit or the?
I think
I,
it's just
I think it's just the wave
Agent.
content.
Yeah, it's just, and then the behaviour from that is emergent. But it doesn't change how you play, really.
yeah.
I suppose it does, like the red ones do a little bit.
I think I'd like to have seen some more interactions between the different waves. So if you had a bunch of pinks and a bunch of greys, maybe the pinks always try and stay behind the greys or something to
Yeah.
shield
Yeah.
themselves, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you have kind of alright. So you have different behaviours, and they combine in different interesting ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the aim. Like that's when the gameplay becomes, or the behaviours become a bit emergent, and they are.
But then you need
Not
but again,
predefined.
You need bigger differences. You need to
Yeah.
say, oh, look, you've got here are
Absolutely.
ones which are like tanks, but they they don't shoot you or they move very slowly. And then here are ones that actually shoot you, but they're very easy to destroy. But when you combine them together, what happens is that they hide behind the tanks, right? So it's things like that. It's kind of those kind of combinations of behaviour.
Oh, these reds seem horrible.
Or here's another one that latches onto to something else, and then like just
So actually your strategy then becomes kill it before it latches on or something.
Yeah.
and then depending on what it gets combined with, you get these different kind of combinations of things.
Yeah, it definitely seems like
Maybe.
they've tried to do it, but not quite gone that far.
I think they've just assumed that they can have these different behaviours, and that by combining them, they instantly get interesting behaviours. But you have to design some of that. You have to
Yeah.
think.
And again, the difference
And
doesn't
test.
seem big enough.
Yeah.
And we've had that for a couple of these now, where you've got this changing behaviour, but the behaviours are so subtly different that actually when you're playing against them, you just can't tell the difference. Or at least you can't separate it from chance.
Yeah, love a gun.
Yeah.
You need them to look radically different, behave radically differently, combine in different ways, and then it will kind of work. But it seems to be doing something. So we did say, did we not, that we wanted to have some kind of feedback on the screen as to what was going on?
Ideally.
I think that was a requirement.
I think there was a dynamic difficulty. I don't know about procedural content generation.
Right, okay.
But I don't think this isn't adapting.
No, you're right, it's not.
It's using agent-based behaviours to
Yeah.
emerge
Yeah,
new, interesting wave behaviours,
yeah.
but
Okay.
without having tuned it well enough.
Yeah.
Like
And
what's
without
happened,
those
they
big
haven't-
enough differences.
Yeah, they haven't looked at big enough differences. They haven't
Yeah.
then designed the interaction.
Because like I said, you can think of us up. You can think of us up.
Whoa,
So
what a...
big slow ones that can absorb a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Small fast ones that shoot you. Ones that a behaviour where they hide behind each other. A behaviour where they latch on to one another. These are all things that you could then combine to have interesting effects. Right?
They are definitely procedurally generating the waves, though. That is...
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Okay, let's go through it. So quality.
So
Really nice.
It is
really
good,
nice.
yeah.
One minor nitpick on the quality is did they just join into one big swarm?
Yeah.
So they started
Huh.
separately.
That's pretty cool.
One comment on the gameplay itself is the bullets are too fast to dodge. Like, I'm struggling to figure out how my movement is affecting anything.
Do you know how you got health on you?
Yeah, and I just can't see a way to avoid getting hit. Just because those bullets are a bit fast to...
I think it might be just one of those things where you're not supposed to avoid specific bullets, but just by moving in a particular way,
I mean,
like if you strafe, it'll miss you. Okay, so I think we all agreed quality is very good. Yeah, really nice.
quality's excellent. This is...
Effectiveness of the implementation. So this is procedural generation of the waves with the different behaviours.
Using swarm algorithms.
Swarm algorithm. So does it generate quality content? And I think the answer is it generates good content, but it could be better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's definitely interesting swarming behaviours going on, but they're very subtly different.
Yeah.
I think that's... Even if it meant going outside of what that core algorithm was, they used the core algorithm for one of them, and if you can't get it to do something interesting just by changing the parameters, change the algorithm. Like, chuck in something that says that this one, like, loops around and spins or something.
no.
So, I mean, we were kind of getting to the next one, really. So the next one is it a meaningful innovation? I think it is. I think it kind of gives you a nice kind of arena type combat, which works. But then, does it take advantage of what the innovation can do? And that's when it kind of loses the way. I think they could have done much more to show variance and to have different types of behaviours combining in interesting ways. But that's not to say that it's bad by any means. I think they kind of it does work. Clearly, it works really quite nicely. Just could have done more.
So you've got 3 different types here. I mean, you've got blues, blacks, and reds. Draw them all together.
Okay. I mean, they're doing that involuntarily anyway.
You've killed all the black.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to affect that much, them being in the same.
Are the reds completely... Do they just swarm randomly?
Yeah, the red ones just seem to wander. Like, they seem to be averse to each other. Like, they don't seem to be, like, being close to each other. But
So at some point I healed, and I'm not sure how or why.
yeah, having some specific rules that interacted the different types of waves. So I don't know, blues really like reds. So blues, if there's a red swarming around, blues just surround the red, like the nearest red, and that red's like trying to get away from everything because it doesn't like all the blues or the reds. So it's trying to get as far away, and the blues are just following the reds. That would be an interesting interaction. It would definitely be good visually, and it might be good gameplay wise, but you've got to test that. You've got to like make that behaviour happen, and then
and it could get you away. You know, it could potentially get you hundreds of possible different interesting combinations of behaviour.
Yeah, and that's when it becomes really interesting.
Whereas most of these games have 3 or 4 or maybe 5 basic types of behaviour, and that's it.
Yeah.
So they're definitely on to something. Yeah. It's just they haven't quite pushed it as far as they could have done. Yeah. Shall we move on?
Yes.
Okay. That's good. So our last game is called The Jumping, and it is both procedural generated and adaptive difficulty.
Right.
Very interesting.
Interesting.
So basically,
Didn't we play this game before, but upside down?
you're endlessly jumping.
No, that one had good music.
Hang on a second. Something is. Where's the spikes?
They're down there.
Oh, they're coming. Oh, there you go. You just couldn't quite see them. So you're
into
endlessly jumping up from platform to platform. The platforms are all procedurally generated and laid out.
You say jumping, so I jump automatically.
You jump automatically, so you automatically bounce, and then there's
a bouncy robot.
Springs that send you up. You collect the coins, and the coins give you a score, and the adaptive difficulty is based on the number of coins you've collected, and if you haven't collected enough coins, it generates more coins.
Right.
Okay.
So my problem with it. So actually, as a game, I think it actually works quite well as a kind of endless jumper thing. It's actually fairly playable. And I think there are issues with the layout of the platforms. They get smaller as well as you progress. my biggest issue
score-wise, or should you do?
My biggest issue really is with the adaptive difficulty thing, because what they've basically said is, if you're not scoring very well, we make it easier for you to score, and that kind of misses the whole point.
Yeah, that's not
right. Says your score should be a measure of how well you've done in the circumstances, and the adaptive difficulty should make the circumstances more difficult, and increase your ability to score. And all they've done is basically mean that someone who's not scoring very well gets a bit of a boost.
So everyone gets the same score.
Everyone gets the same score or a similar score.
Similarly,
So they've really I think they've really missed the point on the adaptive difficulty.
is the platform size also strictly linear, because it depends on how many you've passed and you're always passing more?
Yeah, so they gradually get smaller. I think it's based on numbers of platforms that you've gone.
So yeah, that's not.
So it's
Not
just
adaptive.
part.
That's not adaptive.
It's not adaptive. That's the procedural generation.
Right.
bit.
Right, okay.
So the procedural generation bit is the platforms. So it randomly lays the platforms out.
Can you do that?
Can do anything, Rach.
So the platforms, it's size and placement basically. And I think the platform size they argued was part of the adaptive difficulty as well, but it's not really.
No, if
adaptive.
it's only
I think
dependent
it's
on-
linear on
Yeah.
how far you got through. So I think they just kind of didn't.
That's
quite,
just difficulty.
yeah.
I'm afraid.
didn't quite link the two.
That's
So-
a common mistake in this section of the course, is thinking that difficulty that changes is adaptive difficulty, but you need to change to some state of the player,
Yeah.
or some model of the player, ideally.
So in terms of procedural generation, it kind of works, but
Quite
there was
simplistic, though, isn't
one
it?
or two things I saw where if it generates platforms on the far side of the screen, it's actually impossible to
Oh,
jump.
really?
So they've not
If
validated it.
if they're so it is possible to have a situation where you can't get out of it. So there is no validation, and there are a few cases where validation would be necessary. Although I have to say, I think they're quite few and far between.
Yeah, well, you can pretty much jump across the entire screen.
Yeah.
The jumping is.
So they kind of get away with it.
They've
but
clearly
again,
plotted these in some kind of line or path.
It's just random.
Is it
Oh, really?
completely
Right.
random X and Y?
So it
think
works
so.
okay, but it's not
Yeah.
very sophisticated.
I think there is a rule. There's a range that it generates them in. So basically, you'll never have a situation where you can't jump up
Right.
to the next one.
Right.
So they're always within a
So
certain.
they know the limits of the character's ability, and it's always generated within that limit.
Well, that's quite that's quite useful, given
Yeah,
that we've
definitely
seen
useful.
designed levels where you can't make the jumps.
Yeah, that's
So-
true.
So they've done procedural generation to make it like infinite as a
yes.
level as well.
Yeah.
But if the platforms keep getting smaller, is it?
Yeah,
don't
like
know.
there's going to be what's the smallest a platform gets?
I guess
Just
we'll
keep
find out.
going, Ricky.
There's some other nice little things. I like the fact that the bottom of the screen brings the spikes up. So if you're doing really well,
Nice.
you don't leave it miles behind. It always it's sort of like capped as to how far ahead you are. That works quite well.
It seems fairly polished as well as a game.
And actually, I thought it controlled quite nicely, and it's playable. You can play it, and I mean, my again, there's that real problem with the score, where what is actually the objective here? Is your score platforms passed, or is your score, right? And because of the way they've done the adaptive stuff with the coins, the score really is, a bit pointless, really.
Yeah.
My issue with the controls
You're
is
gonna
that as
end up-
soon as you jump up through the bottom of another platform, you jump off that next platform,
Yeah, you do actually. That's true.
which is sort of handy, but also sort of.
You will end up on 0% platforms or a minimum, because it's
So-
going by 0.2%
So, in
each
terms
platform.
of, I know it's linear stuff, and part of therefore procedural generation, but it has got now noticeably harder, right?
Yeah, it feels like it's going to get impossible though, and that's going to be frustrating because
Like, it's not actually... Oh no, it's capped at 20%. Okay, this is as difficult as this game will get.
It's capped at 20%.
I actually had to swap hands because my hand was so tight. Does anyone else want to have a go while we chat about this?
Rich.
If you don't, I'll have another go.
So
But
let's go through a bit. So,
score 59.
what
Yeah,
are
you
controls?
really didn't
Is
pick
it
up many
was
coins.
was
but you passed
Well, it's
like
only left
300
and right.
odd platforms.
Did.
So quality.
It seems like it controls well, it's polished, doesn't
It's
too many bugs.
it's simple,
It feels a bit
but it's
weird, but
effective.
yeah,
I
it's
think.
fine.
Yeah,
It
it
plays
kind of
well,
works.
yeah.
Plays well. It's definitely playable. You definitely get a kind of like
it's simple. In
yeah.
terms
So
of
the first few times I played it, I missed
Yeah,
a
that's
few
great,
platforms
that's
and
great, that's
died,
great.
and I was like, oh, I want to go back in and try again.
How, Dave? How did you miss any platforms?
I really am quite bad.
It's really
You're
easy
not-
to
you're
miss the
not.
points though.
So,
Yeah.
all right, let's talk about the procedural gen then. So the procedural generation, well, I suppose we ought to. They have done adaptive difficulty as well.
I think we've talked about that
I think we
quite a
should.
lot, though.
So in terms
Is it
of
valuable,
so in terms of the effectiveness, is the adaptive difficulty, does it perceptibly impact play?
No, not really.
You coin chance. I mean, partly because you're kind of ignoring them, really.
Yeah,
They're
true.
completely unimportant, really, for the main point of the game.
Yeah.
It is
I
notable.
mean, that's the problem. Is the coins are absolutely irrelevant. The whole game is about how far you get,
Yeah.
and the coins pointless.
And the point, and even with if the points from the coins were the point of the game, then it's not done very well either.
Then the adaptive difficulty fails.
Mm.
The procedural generation, on the other hand, very simple, but they've got that checking for the range, and they've got the linear size thing changing, which definitely makes the game trickier as you progress. So I think
Dynamically, that's just
that works.
That's just normal difficulty.
Yeah, sure, but it's part of the procedural generation. Isn't it?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I think so. In terms of does that generate quality content? Yeah, I think it does. I think it's fine. Meaningfulness. What do you think? Does this game need to be procedurally generated?
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's
in
that
order to-
genre of game where you have to be randomly generating a thing. I guess the question is, would it benefit from being more smartly procedurally generated?
Yeah.
Possibly.
I
Like I
think
think you could have some interesting patterns of how you can maneuver
Yeah,
around.
So I asked
Make
them
some
whether they
interesting
had
platforming.
any. I asked them if they had any particular patterns like ladders or
Yeah.
or crisscross jumping and things like that. It's no, it's all just random.
or even like
Um,
subtly different types of platform.
Yeah. I think that's kind
Like
of the next
red
one,
ones
which
and
is
green ones and
does-
bouncy ones.
Yeah.
Shuffle.
does the game take advantage of the fact it's
Spring.
procedure generated? And I think again the answer is not
Not
that
really,
much
no.
really.
Mm.
I mean, it does work
Like-
and it's very playable,
Yeah.
but by only having one type of platform, by not having any kind of interesting patterns or kind of interesting kind of skill type jumping, jump through the side, by having one bland algorithm all the way through, rather than having particular stages.
I don't know.
If you go off the right side of the screen, do you go on the left?
No, you hit the edge.
Yeah, you could definitely do more with the procedural generation to make it
Yeah.
just a bit more interesting as a game.
Mm.
Definitely,
Particularly when you hit that 20% platform size cap and the game doesn't get any harder.
yeah.
Is there anything else?
It's quite simple. I mean, so I think there's not that much to say about it.
Mm.
I mean, but it does work. It is a game that works. It does incorporate the things we've asked for.
It could just do more.
It could just do more, and probably would be a better game for doing more.
True.
But it's definitely playable.
Yeah.
As Rach appears to be addicted to it.
What score did Ricky get?
59 coins and 300 odd platforms.
I don't care about the
Yeah.
platforms. I want to beat you on the coins. That's the point of the game, Ricky.
Is it?
Oh,
you're so close.
oh dear. So
Right,
on
I got
that note, that's the last game in this video. So thank you for watching, and we'll be back with another 5 games later on.